So I'm sure you guys know that XDefiant is meant to be launching sometime soon. We don't actually have a release date just yet, but there are a few updates that just happened as of last week that I wanted to go over in today's video. If you guys are interested in XDefiant, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. I will be absolutely spamming content once the game is out, so be sure to keep your eyes peeled. But with that being said, let's jump right into it. So Mark Rubin, who is the executive producer on XDefiant, tweeted the other day saying, "Hey all, I know it's been quiet and I apologize for that. We're in a phase where we are submitting XDefiant for release and squashing any last minute bugs. And on a new IP, i.e. not a sequel to a sequel to a sequel," taking a bit of a pot shot there at Call of Duty, I think. "We are taking the time to get those steps right. I love how excited everyone is about our game. We've reached many more people than we ever expected already, and I share your frustration on just wanting to be able to play. But unlike what my mum thinks, making a game isn't all fun and games, and not every part of the process is as fun as others. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. The team is hard at work and we are making progress every day to get the game in your hands as soon as it's ready. Thank you again to everyone for being fans of our game, and I hope to see you all soon in game." Now that tweet is very hard to read. Initially it kind of sounds like, it's very, very close to being out. He pretty much says we're squashing any last minute bugs, and when it comes to submitting XDefiant for release, there is a process that every game has to go through where they pretty much submit their game through, for example, Sony, Microsoft, companies like Steam and all that, to sort of get them on their platforms. And so the fact that it says we are submitting XDefiant for release, that kind of does show that the game is very, very close to being finished, if not essentially finished already. And when he says squashing any last minute bugs, that could just mean obviously making like a day one patch. So initially it does sound as though it is very, very close to launch, but then obviously the fact that he's come out and sort of said this and said, not every part of the process is as fun as others, it also could essentially point at like an internal delay. There is really no way to tell because we obviously don't have an actual release date just yet. Now the game was initially slated to be launching in the summer of 2023, which we are obviously currently in, or at least not in Australia, but in America. Most of you guys who are watching are probably in America. It is currently the summer over there. That was said as recently as when the beta was out. So when the beta was out, they said this game will be launching in summer, and yet summer in the US officially ends on the 23rd of September, which is less than a month now. So if they are going to be sticking by what they said there and launching the game in the summer of 2023, the game pretty much has to be out within the next like 3 or so weeks. Otherwise, then essentially it has been delayed. Now, on top of that, there were also some rumors out there, and this has been around for quite a while now, that September 2nd would actually be the launch date. Firstly, I just want to say, take all of this with a grain of salt because obviously none of this has been confirmed. But the reason that I say September 2nd is that Ludwig, who I'm sure a lot of you guys know, he is hosting on his stream something called the GOAT Gamer Competition on the 2nd of September. And it's pretty much getting a bunch of streamers together and playing a bunch of games, as far as I'm aware anyway. And one of the games that was listed was actually XDefiant, implying the game will be playable for that event. There's no way he would say, "Oh, we're just going to play this game even though it's not out." So I have a feeling that he's maybe heard, or his team have heard, the game will be launching by then. XDefiant and the team at Ubisoft may have actually wanted Ludwig to sort of include XDefiant in that GOAT Gamer Competition because that's obviously great publicity for them. So maybe they were the ones who actually told him, "Hey, you should add XDefiant to your list. It's going to be launching by the time you're doing that stream." So that is obviously just a rumor. Just the fact that it was on there doesn't confirm it is going to be launching by then, but it is definitely odd that he would include XDefiant, a game which currently isn't out. It doesn't have a release date. It is weird that he would include that in his list of games. Either way, it is all very much up in the air, and while I do appreciate them taking their time to get the game right, I think I'd prefer the game to obviously launch properly and be very smooth at launch. I do also wish they would just kind of come out with a release date and just give us full transparency. Mark Rubin has done an amazing job of being very transparent with this game, and so I kind of wish he would take that final step and be really transparent with the actual launch date as well, because at the end of the day, the launch date is realistically the most important thing that fans want to know. Although it's great to know about all the ins and outs of making the game and stuff like that, it is way more important to us as fans to just know when we can actually get our hands on the game. Being left in the dark by developers is never a good thing in my opinion, and although I do understand Mark Rubin probably has his reasons for keeping us in the dark in terms of the release date, it's probably more to do with the higher ups at Ubisoft. I'm sure if he had free reign, he would just tell us literally already. I do just wish that they would be a little bit more transparent on that and actually give us a proper release date. But that is pretty much it for today's video. I just wanted to quickly update you guys on what seems to be going on with XDefiant. September 2nd, if that is the launch date, that is actually this week. So we potentially could be playing later on in this week. I'm starting to think that is maybe not the case just because of Mark's tweet, but we will just have to wait and see. Either way, I'm keen to hear what you guys think. If you think the game will be launching on the 2nd, or if you think it has been internally delayed. So be sure to let me know down in the comment section. But with that being said, thank you all very much for watching. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you all out there on the battlefield.